This topic is about outlining, and in order to make it the most useful, we want Excel to do as much of it as possible. So what we're going to do is sort these columns in alphabetical order, and that way we can automate a few things. So I'm going to select right here, come over to where it says Sort and Filter, and click the down arrow and choose Custom Sort. Now it's important to note that the My Data Has Headers box is checked, and you can see it selected everything except for the headers, which is good. We want the first one to be contractor because we want to sort it alphabetically there, A to Z, and the second one project. And click OK, and now they are sorted. For example, com before farm with Dobbs and so on. So now we'll go to the Data tab and click on Data, and we have Group, Ungroup, and Subtotal. Before we group it, we want to subtotal it because Excel will automatically group it if there are subtotals in it. So let's go to Subtotal, and we want it sorted by contractor because you click the down arrow. It could be contractor, project, or amount. We want it sorted by contractor. We want to add the subtotal to the amount, so we want that column done. And right over here, it's important that this is set to sum because sometimes it automatically goes to count, and you don't want that most of the time. You're just going to want sum. And click OK. And now you have it. With this information over here, I can select one, and it says here's the grand total, 60,751. If I select 2, which is right here, I've got the totals for Dobbs, Leonard, and Strader, and the grand total. If I select 3 right here, I've got all 3 of them. And I have the choice, if I'm putting on a presentation, this is kind of handy. I could just go down to as much detail or as little detail as I want. Each one of these represents individual choices. If I wanted, I could just click that, and that's one way of doing it. Is plus. If I click the plus sign, it will expand, and so on. Now let's suppose I wanted to add some more subtotals in here. For example, we have Dobbs right here, and these are the projects. These are all commercial, but we also have farm. We might want to divide it out like that. So since these are alphabetized, we can probably get Excel to put the subtotals in, or else we'll have to do it manually. So we'll go right over to subtotal. You have to make sure that something is selected within this range. Click on subtotal. And now we want to select the down arrow and choose project, sum, the amount, and we'll click OK. So it's project instead of contractor, sum, and amount is already selected, so we'll leave it there. Click OK. And now it's divided. So we have Dobbs Commercial and Dobbs Farm, and so on. And we can come over here and drill it down all the way down to where we just have the grand total, but I'll put it all the way back. And that is outlining. Now, most of the time though, you're not going to have things in alphabetical order. You might have names of cities, and they're different names. You might want to catalog them that way. Then you have to create your own subtotal. So let me show you how that works. I'm going to have to add the formula bar, which I got rid of. So I'll just bring that back real quick. Go to File, Options, Advanced, Show Formula Bar right there. Okay, so now we have the formula bar back. And you can see here is the formula. 9 represents that you are to sum it. If you put another number in there, it could mean count or average or something else, but 9 does mean sum. So when I click on it, and then the range is to the right of it, it's going to sum that area there, but it's not going to interfere with the total right here, because here's another subtotal. It ignores this subtotal. In other words, it will add from there to there and there to there. Let's see if I can show that better. It will add these numbers and these numbers in order to get this number. So the subtotal formula ignores other subtotals and just counts the other numbers in the line. Okay, and just a quick explanation of subtotals, which we will go into more later. The 1, if you put a 1 in your formula, that means average, 2 is count, and so on. 9 is the most common to subtotal, so 9 would be the first argument in a lot of subtotals. The 109 is just has to do with using or not using hidden cells. We'll talk about that more later, but most of the time you would just use 9. And for example, right there, it's subtotal 9, and then you have the range. Here we have another example. You can see that nothing is alphabetized. So if we were to click subtotal right here, choose anywhere in here and choose subtotal, let's base it on sales, it's going to be a mess, as you can see. So I'm going to Control Z and get rid of that. And what we're going to do is we're going to put these in order alphabetically, and that'll just help things along. So we'll go to the Home tab, Sort and Filter, Custom Sort, and the first one I want it to be by salesperson, A to Z. I'm going to add a level, and we're going to do it by product, and OK. Could have had a third year and done it by the year, but I didn't. That probably would be a good idea to do it by year also, add another level. But you can see we've got Harrison here, Miller here, Rogers here. So now it's easy to automatically do the subtotals. So we'll click on this, go to Data, and choose Subtotal. We got a salesperson. You see it's set to count. We want to change that to sum. It says replace current subtotals. I'm going to uncheck that, but it doesn't seem to make a lot of difference sometimes. And there you have it. We have Harrison computers, Harrison printers. Here's the Harrison total. So I can choose that, and I've got the sales right there, and choose this, Harrison total, Miller total, Rogers total, and I can select the third option, and that gives me all of these. If I wanted to break it down further, computers and printers, for example, select anywhere in here, go to subtotal. It's set to salesperson. I want it set to product. And OK. So now we have Harrison computer totals and Harrison printer totals, and so on. And I can click the back arrow and all the way back to the grand total of 147, which is the same total down here, 147, 151.